Hello, well, this is a musical part of the world, so this is the coda. These are some images that were still from my presentation this morning. What was a border? I don't understand about borders anymore. Borders are imaginary, and people impose them to you, or you impose them to yourself. They have to change, because before borders, this guy didn't exist. I mean, musicians were not known until the camera came to them, and then we had Elvis and Prince and Michael Jackson. So I think writers are going to change. Now we're going to be bilingual. Some people trilingual or more lenguas. Y nosotros hablamos varias lenguas y espero que ustedes estén entendiendo, because I understand a little English, and maybe Spanish is going to be very good. And screens, as somebody just said, is the surface where we're reading lots of times. And now the most important messages for us come in screens. But it's going to be like paper color in the future. We're going to be ubiquitous. We need to be here in Colombia answering emails in all over the world, because we can't afford to be just in one place anymore. We're trapped inside our bodies. McLuhan said, the guy that is giving a technology to a town or to a people that doesn't understand what to do with it is as responsible as the one that drops the atomic bomb. And that is what is happening right now. And we have to be naive. We don't know what people are going to do with our creations, and people are very creative. So people are going to do whatever that works for them, as could be seen in places like this. In Liberia, there are no computers. So this guy has access to information, and he has a very analog blog. And it's beautiful because he reads to the people that can't read. Or in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, I love the superhero graffitis. I don't know who goes up they have to fly to make these graffitis. But you have to provide a good wall, and people are going to make amazing stuff. The new Gabriel Garcia Marquez, the new Gabo, right now is playing video games. He's not the son of the Aracataca telegraphist, but the owner of an internet coffee store. And he's playing something and chatting. And so are you ready to print his books? Fear 2.0, it's what a lot of people have. We have fear of what we don't know. We don't deliver things to the people because they are going to do something very bad. The word piracy derives from a distant Indo-European root meaning a trial or attempt, or presumably by extension, an experience or experiment. It is an irony of history that in the distant past it meant something too close to creativity, to which is now reckoned anti-ethical. So you have to trust your customers, otherwise they're not going to trust you. And that is something that Prince sings. Who do you trust? That's the Joker in Batman. And this guy from Uruguay released a short document, a little movie online in YouTube, and Sam Raimi, the director, gave him $35 million to direct a new movie. So it could happen. These are some kids in Bogota. That's the teacher. They are from a very poor school. And after they used my iPad to read El Quijote for a reading with the Spanish library, they really understood that being in the third world is just a question of attitude, as Fito Páez sings. It's just in the mind of whoever. So you decide in which world you're going to live. This is the map of the world. I don't see the north, I don't see the south, west, east. That's our universe right now. I tend to live in the middle, to the right. Oh yeah, somebody said that $500 for a machine is very expensive in Latin countries. The amount of money that you save for each book that is $75 printed, sold in Colombia, and it's $11 in electronic form, pays the price of a machine. And now we have projects in Colombia, and they are giving the machines for 80,000 pesos, which is $40 a month. So lots of people are getting their reading devices. As Lewis Carroll said, would you tell me, please, which way I ought to go from here? That depends a good deal on where you want to get to, said the cat. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we also have another encore, which is Nick Ruffalo's encore from earlier in the presentation. Let's try it this time, Nick.
There we go. Okay, so I'm here to talk to you about, it's not just ebook rental, it's actually all rental. Most of you are familiar with Netflix. If you're not, it's essentially DVDs by the mail. This is their membership growth. They're hopefully slating to be at about 16 million customers, and those are monthly paying subscribers. The next slide, the red bar is the instant watch downloads. If you notice, the blue bars, the DVD is actually kind of cut down. But if you notice the growth, it looks actually a little scarier than the ebook growth, especially considering that it barely started in 2007. What this is basically how long people hold on to a physical DVD. And this is why Instant Watch is so much more popular, because you don't have to actually get the DVD. You just go and you can click again and again and again and see more. Okay, so I've actually put some numbers to this. Now, this is based off of a slice of actual users. So that slice shows that there's about 9 million downloads/DVD watches, which is a lot of royalties that are all being paid back to publishers. That's based off of FeedFlix, which has probably about 10% of the Netflix market concept. Netflix has about 16 million subscribers, and they spent about 117 million on royalties in the first 6 months on just digital. There's a lot of other industries that are doing digital rentals and physical rentals right now, and this is some of them. Yes, the you can rent Christmas trees. All right, 49% of e-reader owners do claim to buy more books. Amazon will never release their download statistics, so we actually have no idea. But only 7% of people claim not to. So when you make it easily accessible, people download more. Bookswim is the company I work for. We do physical book rentals, and I'm about to share some statistics and information about how that's worked for us and how that can benefit publishing. Okay, we work and we operate in the United States under something called the right of first sale doctrine. That basically says when we buy something, it's ours and we can do whatever we want with it. So we buy a physical book and we rent it out over and over and over and over again. And oftentimes we pay cover price. With ebooks, there is none of that. It's all licensing deals. And publishers tend to be afraid to make any sort of licensing deals, especially when you say the word rental. They hang up the phone. It's happened. It's scary. So really the goal of publishing is to make money, not sales. So one sale at $1,000 ultimately is the same as 10,000 sales at 10 cents. So if we could promise you 10,000 sales, if rental could promise millions of sales at a penny, would it really matter? So there's libraries, and what about the library? Well, it's there, and it's been lending physical books for a long time, and it hasn't destroyed publishing, and now it's lending some ebooks, and my library does, and it's great, and it hasn't destroyed publishing yet. So the fear that it will. So really, you can be on the green line or the red line, and the red line is when you make no action. Rental, anything. If you don't act in publishing, you're going to be following that red line. Okay, so this is actually a graph of the amount of rentals we've had, the amount we've bought, and the future demand. On average, for our bigger titles, we will, for each copy we buy, we will rent them out about 9 or 10 times. Basically, the average user reads about 3 books a month. So we are looking at, for our subscriber base, avid and casual readers, which is what Netflix sees. The big fear is, oh, if it's unlimited, then you're going to get the avid readers that are just going to consume media, and they're going to consume millions of books, and we're going to put us out of business. And it's really not that way. There's a few people who will read 2 or 3 books a day, but they're far and few between. Most people are commuters who just don't have access to anything. People also talk. People will share books. So yes, someone may have gotten it cheap, but they're going to tell 4 of their friends, and all of a sudden 4 of those friends are now reading books. Yes, that's all me. All right, and also with rental, what happens is you flatten out the long tail. I'm sure if you look at any of your sales graphs, your big titles are